Monday, people. Happy Monday. Hope everyone's well. It is 6 o'clock, which means it is indeed the Monday snack. Have a very cool show for you today. It's going to be a bit of a random show because my guest is a bit of a random guy. The irrepressible, completely, how can I put this, man? You can't contain this dude. You can't contain him. Brilliant, long-term friend, incredibly talented individual. It's Nicky Brown, producer, drummer, keyboard player. He does all this stuff, and we had a very long chat because our chats tend to be very long. As a reminder, there's going to be a new segment in the show today. I want everyone to remember it's your chance to win a coveted, exclusive Monday snack mug, guys. So stay tuned, right? Because later in the show, there's a little funny competition and you've got to be in it to win it. You're going to need to put your answers up on the chat and then it could be you walking away with the prize. Yeah, but there you go. Anyway, I'm jumping straight in to the first part of my conversation with Nicky, right? We kind of spoke about how we got into production by sort of grabbing opportunities. It was quite funny, and Nicky's Nicky. You're gonna, if you don't know Nicky, you're gonna see what I mean. Here we go. Okay, folks, today I have with me an insanely talented individual. Oh man, this guy, he plays the drums, he's a producer, he's a writer, he plays keyboards, he's an MD, he's an arranger, he does it all. It is the amazing one and only Nicky Brown. Nicky, what are you saying? How you doing?
I'm cool, bro. I'm cool. Ange, I don't play drums, bro, anymore.
I told you already, right? Earlier, once you're in the family, you're in the family. Once a drummer, always a drummer. You are a drummer, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah?
Well, I do always. I've never not felt like I was a drummer, but when I hear you and all Jerry and all you guys playing it, just like I'm like, yo, you know what I mean?
I'm sorry. You're a drummer. We'll hear no more of it. You're a drummer. There you go. Right. So, the stuff you've done, man. I can go down this list. We've got Paul Weller and the Style Council.
I hate all that stuff. I hate all that resume stuff.
Look, I'm going to do it anyway. I don't care, right? We've got Paul Weller, Style Council. We've got Emma Bunton. We've got Craig David. We've got Earth, Wind and Fire. We've got Paolo Nutini. We've got Boy George. We've got B-52s. Jocelyn Brown, Primal Scream. Pete Townsend. We've got Mike and the Mechanics. We've got Dave Stewart. Block Party. Man, you know what? It goes on and on. It goes on and on and on and on. It's pretty impressive, right? You've done a lot of stuff. And actually, yes, I said earlier, right? When you told me you were working with Earth, Wind and Fire, I was absolutely blown away. I thought, oh my days, the man has arrived. He's proper arrived, man. And that was yonks ago.
On the Millennium album, which was just before 2000, you know. It was in the 90s, I think. If you go 96, 97 or something like that. I can't remember anyway, but it feels like a lifetime ago.
Big things, man. Big things. I'm sorry. Big things, right? Started out in the gospel scene, yeah? Multi-talented, you're a multi-instrumentalist, ridiculously gifted family, right? So it seems like it's moved through the generations to your son, Matty, who is a ridiculous drummer. And I used to hang a lot with your brother, Jerry. We spent many hours sat, in front of practice pads, just like really going at it. So, you and Andy Gangadine, I consider mentors to me. You were the first two people that I knew personally that were really doing the music industry thing for real. Right. So you've managed to transition from drums through to playing keys, through to production, through to mixing. And my description of you, if I could think of one word, would be fearless, because it seems that regardless of the esteemed company you're in, you deliver, you seem comfortable. You know, it's like, you know, you're in your element. So my first question is, did you have to work at that? Or is it in your personality to just simply embrace any opportunity, any situation, no matter how pressurized it might seem?
You know, I think for me, right, and I just love music, and I love, and what was evident to me was like, as a drummer, which you can appreciate, is that I kind of believe that we kind of have the best seat in the band, or the best seat in the house.
Right.
Get to hear everything that's going on, and we're like the absolute middle of everything. It made me kind of become interested in all of the other parts of the band, because, you know, as you know, when you MD and from the stool, from the drum throne, it's like you're having to explain stuff to people, and a lot of the time I just was like, the explanation wasn't going well, so I just thought, well, I've got to know how to do it. So that's how I kind of got across the lines, you know.
Right.
And I got involved in programming. Then I kind of got involved in synths, and then I kind of got involved in playing keyboards. I always loved, like, you know, just tinkering around on everything. You use the word fearless. That's a big word. I mean, for me, I don't know if I'm fearless, but I knew that I wanted to have a go. You know, I knew that I could contribute. So I just tried. And that's where it starts with me every time. I'm just a big trier. You know what I mean?
Quite often, there's a tendency for some of us to not have a go because of the fear. But if you have a go despite the fear, that's a different thing. And not many people kind of have that in them to throw themselves into it. It's like, you know, jump and boy, hopefully someone catches me. It's one of those ones, rather than feeling completely comfortable about what it is you're about to do. Did you have to teach yourself to push through that feeling, or were you like, you know what, I'm the kind of guy, I'm gonna have a go?
Well, I had quite a challenging childhood. Unfortunately for my poor mum, I was quite sick as a kid. I was sick for maybe 10 years of my life, and quite badly, you know, gravely sick in some respects. In my mind, as a kid, it was about staying alive. So every time you got an opportunity, you never wasted it, you know, because it was just like, grab everything that you can, you know. So I remember, like, the first time I got to play drums in church, you know, that it was just another grab. It was like I got a chance and I grabbed it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it worked out. And, you know, then I never looked back. I mean, I still got the cassette of that night. Basil Mead was playing the organ. It's crazy. It's like, if you make a movie about it, it's just mad. You know, when you think about that stuff. Basil was playing the organ, and my uncle Errol was playing the drums, and the choir went up singing. I was like, can I play for the choir? And he went, go sit on, boy. And then Basil went, no, let him play. And I got on, and they started the song, and I just started playing. And they didn't know it was me. You know, they didn't know it was me playing. And then when they all went off the stage, and I was this little kid behind this huge drum set.
Right.
And like, wow, and people were like giving me money and stuff. And
wow, started early. That's great.
Well, but that was a bad thing, because when they gave me the money, I knew, I was like, hold on a second here. You know what I mean? There's something in this.
First session. I love that. Yeah, it's quite funny. Very, very funny. So what I'm going to need to explain to everyone watching today, right, is I normally have to, obviously I edit the show, right? I edit the show. With Nicky, it was such a challenge because, man, when we get together, we can just talk. We can talk, and Nicky just goes off piste. Nicky seems to spend his whole existence off piste. So what you're seeing, trust me, is a truly heavily truncated version of our conversation, which is really cool. But I'm gonna say hi to some folks. Hi to Anita. Word on the street, Anita's cooking, and I believe today on the menu is that chickpea burgers, as autocorrect made it chicken pea burgers. If it's chickpea, please, clarification, Anita. We need clarification. So hi to Anita. Hi to Maxine. Hi to Stefan. Hi to Robert. Robert, man, honoured to have you watching today. Jeff, head of the family. I can see you've rocked up as well. Yeah, hi to everyone. Is that everybody I've said hi to? I believe so. And remember, stay peeled because one of these mugs is going to be up for grabs. One of these mugs is going to be up for grabs. You've got to stay tuned. And you're going to need to put your answers in the chat. So kind of make sure it's going to be a bit of fun. It's going to be a bit of fun. Cool. Right. So for my notes here for this next section of our chat, right, I've written, how do you control Nicky Brown? That was my sort of, my notes to myself. Because I'd ask him a question and then it's almost like he sort of created this Jedi mind trick. A Jedi mind trick tricking me to thinking he'd actually answered what I asked him. But actually, he just gone off talking about something completely random. It was quite funny. But anyway, I think this part of the chat, I asked him what his very, very first session as a producer, being in the producer's chair, was like. And I think at some point he answered. I think. Check it out. Here we go. So the first time you walked in as an arranger, as a producer, as the guy, as you put it, right? Were you emotionally, mentally prepared for the responsibility of that? Did you feel comfortable? Did you feel comfortable walking in the room to do that? And that's what I want to get at. That first time, what was the feeling?
I was bricking it, mate, and I always. The last big chart session that I've done, I've been. The last big chart session we done before lockdown was with Ellie Goulding on her last album.
Right.
And same thing, I was arranging the whole choir vocal thing.
Right.
And it was not unlike working with when I worked with Madonna. So when I worked with Madonna, it was with Spike Stent, who's an amazing engineer, incredible. I mean, like, I literally just drunk him, I asked him about every record I ever loved that he done. I kind of squeezed, I was like, can I go to your studio? Can I do this? And he would just share. And I was like, so how do you use a side chain when you do this and blah? I asked every question and that's what I'm famous for, actually. Everybody says, man, you just make us feel like you're so interested in what we're doing. My youngest daughter's name is Ellie, basically because I loved Ellie Goulding's music. And I just love the way that Ellie is, Ellie's kind of like her own thing. She's like, she don't look like a pop star, but she is a pop star. Right. She writes incredible songs. She's got a really different sounding voice. She's just herself. And then what's really freaky is that Matt is now kind of playing with Ellie, which is great, right? So you go in the room and I kind of just try to absorb the room. I just try to find out what's going on in the room, feel the people. We were working with Joe Kay. And Joe is an amazing producer, and one of the songwriters, John, and I can't remember the names of the guys, but they were incredible musicians. They've had loads of hits. Some of them have worked with Beyonce and different people like that. And you just got to read the room. You just got to kind of go in. You got to find out. I don't want to go too far, but at the same time, I don't want to hold back. I'll walk off the edge of the cliff, and not, realize that I may die. That's the part of my personality that I don't quite understand.
In other ways, I'll pile in. I'll be like, oh, we need this done. Yeah, sure, I'll do it. And then I'm walking away from the person thinking, right, how am I going to do that? I've got to find out how to do this. I've just signed up for something I've got no idea how to do.
But you see, for me, that's the element, what you're saying there, that's the element of great kind of like musicianship and discovery and all of that stuff. That's when it gets really good. So my whole thing is that, you know, when people were like, we need a vocal arranger, I was like, how many sessions have I done with Levine, Misha, New Colors, you know, name all of these great singers, you know, American singers, Clark Sisters, whoever. I'm like, man, how, like, I should be able to vocal arrange something, you know? And, you know, I should be able to. And I thought, all right, I'm going to fall flat on my face, or it's going to go okay. And while I was doing it, I just started to feel really warm. I felt really good. Yeah. And we were getting good results. And I started to understand what was happening on the other side of the glass, you know? It's the big thing for me, because what a lot of people don't realize is that being on one side of the glass is completely different from being on the other side of the glass. As a musician, as a drummer, as a keyboard player, as a singer, whatever. And so it helped my production because it helped me to have empathy for what was going on. And then I started singing in the sessions. Lawrence was like, dude, you've got a great falsetto, you need to sing with the girls. And I was like, what? But then I started doing it, and it actually was a thing. We were making money doing it. It was a thing.
You know what, I stopped short of that. I refuse to commit my vocals to tape, man.
The two big records that we done, which people was like Primal Scream, Come Together, and Moving On Up, which are like two seminal classic records.
Right.
But like, that was just me, Lawrence, Faye, and Sarah Brown.
Yeah.
And we made it sound like it was a big thing, and
yeah.
Nobody challenged what we done. We just had a whole bunch of fun, and we just had a good time. And I arranged them.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's funny because I will, when our folks here, quite often my approach is to, before folks get here, I will basically just track all the BVs and say, yeah, just run this, you know.
Yeah, cool.
But it will never leave this. It will never leave this place, man. It will never ever leave this place. That's really interesting. Yeah, it's really cool. What's really cool about Nick is, because I've known him so long, for such a huge chunk of my life, sometimes I forget all of this really brilliant stuff he's done. He's like one of the most talented people. You know, him and his brother, man, Jerry and Nicky, just the most talented guys. Really, really impressive. Right. Oh gosh, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. I didn't say that Mrs. S is in the house. Mrs. S is in the house. I think the smallest small's in the house. When I left the house, she was on the phone to her little friend, and that always means that, you know, Daddy's no longer important. Right. Cool. Right. What am I gonna do now? You know what? It's time. It's time. It's time for the next segment. This is gonna. I'm not quite sure how often I'll do this, but it's going to be a new little game. And I'm calling it, It's a Mugs Game. Yeah, it's a Mugs Game because you're going to be able to win one of these. Now, this is how it works, folks. The smallest small has been taking the mick out of her dad, right? She's been pointing out things I say all the time when I do the Monday snack. And apparently, one of the things I say all the time is cool, really cool, cool. I'm always saying cool. She would go, Daddy, cool. And she does this thing where, cool. She keeps, so therefore, right, this is the competition this week. The competition this week for you to win this mug is for the Monday Snack episode number 7, I believe it was, with Ollie Silk. There's no way you can actually go and check this out, so no point even trying, right? During episode number 7 of the Monday Snack, how many times did I say the word cool? That's me, not my guest, me. How often did I say the word cool in episode 7? Now, this is how it works. I want you to write the word cool followed by your guess in the chat. Only winners, the winner can only come from the chat. You write the word cool, you then estimate, right? You estimate how many times I said that word, okay? How many times I said that word, all right? Now, I'm going to run the next segment you've got as long as the next segment lasts to put your estimate in the chat. Whoever gets closest, I'm not going to tell you exactly how much it was, how many times I said it, right? Whoever gets closest wins the mug. And I've also got tiebreakers just in case, all right? So you know what it is? It's all about writing the word cool, and you've got to estimate how many times I said cool. All right, right. We've got some estimates here. Right. So get your guesses in. Get your guesses in, guys. And in the meantime, it's the impossible choice quiz. This was very funny. Check this out. So we jump into the first quiz. This one's called the impossible choice quiz.
Oh my
and the
God.
idea is, right, I'll give you a couple of alternatives. You make a choice. No hesitation. What's interesting about this is knowing you sort of as I do, a couple of names that I've got in my quiz you've already mentioned. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how this goes. Right. Producers. Quincy Jones, Arif Mardin. Which one?
Quincy Jones.
You go for Quincy, right. I thought it was Arif Mardin. Cool, instant, right, okay.
Although Arif is like my guy. He's my go-to.
You'd go for Quincy?
But Quincy, bro, when you look at that discography and you just look at Wagwan, it's just like mad.
That documentary completely blew my mind. The Netflix documentary, it completely blew my mind. Okay, right, next up. Classic gospel artists, right? Do you go Andre Crouch or Walter Hawkins?
Oh man, you can't do this to me, bro.
Hurry up, come on, a choice.
No, bro.
Make a choice. Walter Hawkins or Andre Crouch?
It's got to be Andre, but not
really.
It's got to be Andre. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh wow!
Because the first commercial sounding gospel record. Let me say commercial sounding record I heard from a gospel artist was Andre. Although
mate, you mashed up the quiz, man.
The Hawkins, if you listen to the level of just like they are the Rod Hammerstein of gospel.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I thought it said Hawkins, you know. That interested me.
No, but you hear I'm broken hearted, man. I can't deal with this.
Right, next up. Keyboard players, right? Is it either Greg Fillinganes or Richard T?
Oh, damn. This Richard T, bruh.
Hey!
Richard T, bruh.
On that road thing, he was
bruh,
absolute
and Hammond
don.
as well.
Oh, jeez.
Anna Hammond.
Geez. Richard T. Right, okay.
But again, that's not fair, bro.
That's the idea. That's the idea, man. That's the idea of the quiz. Next up, right? Which of these songs do you wish you wrote? Fragile by Sting or Love's in Need of Love Today by Stevie?
Oh my God.
Come on. Quick choice. There's meant to be no hesitation. Come on, Nick. You got to choose.
And Love's in Need.
Love's in Need. 2 killer tunes, right?
2 killer tunes. And you know what, right? I've got to tell you, sorry, I'm mashing up your thing, but...
You're mashing up the quiz, man. Okay, last one. Which of these drummers, man, you're on a session, which of these drummers do you want on the tune, man? Ja Robinson or Steve Ferrone?
Oh, man, you're kidding me, bro! Are you kidding me? Oh, my God.
This is one of my favourite impossible choices.
It's not right, bro. It's not right.
Come on, Ja Robinson, Steve Ferrone. Let's do it, man. I want to hear it, man. What's going on? What are you saying?
All right. This is my reason, right?
No, I want to know first. Quick.
It's going to be Steve Ferrone.
Steve Ferrone, right, okay.
I'm going to tell you why.
Okay. Hurry, man. We'll be here all day, man. Yeah.
The first record I ever heard that blew my head off was Chaka Khan, What You Gonna Do For Me?
Oh, my days.
Killed me, took me out. And then after that, it is JR, because the next record that took me out was Light Up the Night by the Brothers Johnson. And then obviously all the Michael Jackson records, which is JR. And I met JR. I met JR at Passaic. Can you believe that? Man, again, fandom. I completely lost it.
Yeah, tell me about it. I met him at a Yamaha thing a few years back in Frankfurt, and it was very, very cool. Very, very happening. Very happening. That was the impossible choice quiz. Nick, you just mashed up the quiz. It's meant to be quick fire. You just took it. You took it somewhere else, man.
Yeah, but you see, Ange, this is how I approach everything, right?
Yeah, I know, man. I know.
And for some unknown reason, everybody puts up with my crap, right? But this is how I work with everyone, and I'm just trying to do me, you know.
Whenever I call you, right? Whenever I phone you, it's never. I think I got 5 minutes. Let me call Nicky. It's never 5 minutes, man. It was like 2 hours. It's very funny. It's always 2 hours. Cool, right? How many times did I say cool in that thing? Oh, it's so annoying, man. Alive, man. You know what? I can see there's some real competition. There's some real competition up for this mug, you know. It's very, very funny. I'm going to say hi to some folks first. Before we have the results, I'm going to say hi to some folks. So, I think I said hi to Adam. Hi to Adam Tula. Great to see ya. We got Daniel. We got Andy. Jazzy Ron. Matt. Jimmy Jam. Yeah, I think that's everyone. Yeah, I think it's everybody. Yep, yes indeed. I think that's covered. Right. So here we have the result show. Yes, I was thinking, how on earth am I going to do this? How's this going to work? But I think it's been a well-oiled machine. So, should we read the entries? Daniel said 4. Cool 4. Maxine said cool 20. Andy said cool 24. Jazzy Ron, he was very reserved, said cool 5. Matt, you kind of in the middle, cool 21. Stefan said cool 15. Daniel said cool 4. Hey, Daniel, how many goes did you have, Daniel? Only meant to be 1 attempt, mate. You man's read up all 4 times. And who we got? Oh, and cousin Jeff, head of the family. Cousin Jeff, go on, Anita. I'm gonna give you 1 chance. Just because it's you. You said you missed it. I'm gonna give you 1 chance to write it up. You've got seconds. Anita. I'm gonna give you a few seconds just to put your answer up. Okay. I'm trying to see. So a few seconds because you're running about 4 seconds later than me, right? Come on, Anita. You've got a chance. I knew you were up for this, so you got a chance, right? So once I see Anita's thing, then it's going to be over. Because at the moment, there is a very clear winner. Is Anita going to do it? I'm going to count down. Is she there? 3. What did she write? 3 complete. And what have we got? Oh, no. Yeah. So, Anita, I'm sorry you lucked out. I can say the winner. The official winner of the inaugural. It's a mugs game. Oh man, I gotta do this again. The winner of the inaugural It's a Mugs game is... It's Jimmy Clark. It's Jimmy Clark who guessed call 27. That wasn't the number, but he was the closest. Jimmy, this is going to be winging its way to you, my friend. It's winging its way to you. Wow. Thanks for taking part, folks. Thanks for taking part. That was really good fun. I'm going to do that again. That was really, really good. Wonderful. I was just about to say cool. See that? I was just about to say cool, really cool. Man alive. What, Jimmy? See, you know what? Cousin Jeff, head of the family, just because he didn't win, he's saying it's a fix. The fact that Jimmy was one of my guests is immaterial. He didn't know the answer, my friend. He didn't know the answer. Cool. Anyway, right. I said it then. I said cool. Right, here we go. We're into the final part of the chat with Nick. I've got no idea what this was. Because I know that I sent, right? I gave Nick a question. I've got no idea if he even answered it. So guys, this was the final bit of us talking. I think he answered the question. I'm not even sure. Anyway, check it out. Here we go. I was this young kid. I was like, I think the first time I kind of made a record was I was like 16 or something, right? Right. And I'm this kid like trying to make a record and I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm just thinking,
let's start with the drums. Let's put the bass on. Let's put the keys on. And that was a challenge for me because obviously everybody around me was phenomenal keyboard players. Howard's phenomenal.
Right.
Wayne Wilson's phenomenal. Like everybody I knew was phenomenal. So I'm like playing like with like 3 fingers, you know, kind of. But what I realized is with sequencing, I could do a whole lot that I couldn't do live.
Yeah.
And then so challenge of wanting to play live kind of pushed me to want to play more.
Yeah.
And kind of started to, you know, I started to get into, I got to have a piano and I got to try and play every day. And so I basically went to church and I played the piano in church and I played the Hammond in church. And I just done that all the time. And every time I wasn't working or was off tour, I was at church playing, and I loved playing in church. You know, it was wonderful. But my whole thing is with all of that, and I know you feel the same way, is that when somebody hires you as a drummer, because I think the last gig that we done together was a really great gig with Damage.
Yeah. That's wicked, that gig.
Yeah. And Matt took me to task on it the other day, actually. He was like, why didn't you tell me you done this? And I was like, well, I'm not going to like keep telling you what I've done because that's going to be weird, isn't it? And he was like, nah, it's not fair. You know, everybody knows you've done this stuff except for me and whatever. But it was actually an amazing gig. If you watch that gig, it's a really good gig. And
I remember the single they released from that. It was wicked. It was a lash. It was wicked.
Yeah.
It's really
cool. And remember, when we're in a team, when I hired you to play with us, remember we had the little lady underneath your drum riser.
Really?
The DA88s with all that playback. There was no. I remember I had a computer and then we dump it onto.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons why we hired you was because you were so great at electronics.
Right.
So you never really just hire a drummer because he's a drummer.
Right.
Or you never really just hire a keyboard player because he's great. You hire them because they're great programmers or they're great at sounds. You know, we both have the common love for Steve Turner.
Oh man. Yeah.
Incredible.
Oh,
he is at 50 jobs. Not even one. Like
mate,
50.
I said something the other day, right? He asked him to replay the Rhodes on something for the new album a couple of weeks ago, and Steve, the MIDI came back. I was just like, oh my good, absolutely unbelievable. That guy's unbelievable.
What people don't know about him is that he's a great church organist. He's a great string arranger. He like his grammar, as so far as manuscripts and stuff are concerned, is second to none. Like, I'll send him a piece of music and he'll just come back and say, Nicky, you know, these guys only respect this and they have this type of dialect or that type of language. And he'll just like make it work. We will put stuff that classical people wouldn't sniff at. He'll put it on the desk and they'll play it and it will come out sounding amazing without even changing a note.
Yeah.
And it's that, I mean, I just don't have that experience. So that's a long way of saying when I go into a room, I don't just go into a room as a vocal arranger or as a keyboard player or, you know, as a programmer or whatever it is, but I bring everything all of my experience with me.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't try to hold back on the artist. You know, when I worked with Kelly from Block Party, it was one of the best experiences I've ever had because it was like a real outside of the box indie experience. I'd never worked on anything like that before, but it felt super fresh. It felt super fashionable. It felt great. And so, I was able to kind of like bring my love of, you know, Robbie Robinson and working with the B-52s, working with Don Was, all of that outsider stuff into that situation and not feel kind of like, wow, this is going to sound weird, or try to make it all sound gospel, or, you know what I mean? You just bring your knowledge with you and you bring, and then we were like talking about mics and we're talking about, how about if we use this mic pre on that? And they were like, What does he know about that? And then they were like, yeah. I mean, even on the Ellie session, right? We were at Air. And when I walked in, the first thing I said to them was like, the mics are too far. And they were like, nah, it's going to be all right. I said, listen, bro, mics are too far. We need to bring those mics in. We need to go on this configuration. We need to, and they were like, bro, shut up, man. And we done the first 3 lines. They were like, hold on, we need to stop. We need to put the mics where you told us to put them. But that's where you get in. And then you end up being friends with these cats.
I just love Nicky's enthusiasm for everything. Just the way he approaches everything. It's real testament to why he's done what he's done, because he's just larger than life, incredibly talented. He's just totally infectious. It was really great chatting with him. Really great. See, I said great rather than cool, because I keep saying cool. Hi to Martin. Wonderful, hi to Martin. Cool, right. Can't stop myself. Man alive. I'm really conscious now. I'm really conscious about it. Right, so it's time. It is time for what's it time for? It's time for the Tour Life Pop Quiz. I'm all random. It's time for the Tour Life Pop Quiz. Nicky, right, seemed to be following the example of a few recent guests in trying to dodge and weave, making a very clear decision about what he would do in these improbable scenarios. I finally managed to time down. This was mildly amusing. We're going to jump to the final quiz, man. We'll jump to the final quiz. Now, this is the Tour Life Pop Quiz, yeah? Now, normally, what I do here is I come up with some improbable scenarios, right? It's a completely random, nutty scenario. And the idea is you give us a view as to how you would cope if placed in this particular position, right? So it's complete nonsense, but the idea, again, no hesitation, and I need a definite answer, right? Right, here we go. You've just started working, right, with the biggest female artist in the industry. She's not just a vocal sensation, right, but she's also considered to be one of the most beautiful women on the planet. Okay, so the two of you, you're flying first class to LA to start working on a new album. You're going to be producing it, and it's in advance of starting a world tour that you're going to be MDing as well. So you're new to her, but you know you're writing on the ground floor here. Yeah. So you settle into your first class pod seat. You know, you got your flat bed, you got your little pod, right? And you notice that a famous supermodel is sat in the pod next to your new boss. Yeah. They strike up conversation. They get along like a house on fire. They get along great, right? So a few hours into the flight now, everyone falls asleep. Yeah? But there's the sound of some ridiculous snoring, like it's rattling the cabin. Someone is truly snoring up the place. Yeah? You get up to go to the loo, right? You realise it's your new boss. She's gorgeous, she's amazing, but she's got her head back, mouth is opening, and it's like proper snoring going on. Yeah? Now, another passenger, a well-known business mogul. He's just like a complete captain of industry. He's on the same flight, yeah? He starts complaining from the back of the cabin, like, what on earth is that noise, yeah? He's kicking up a fuss. Everyone wakes up. Everyone knows it's coming from that part of the cabin. It's either your boss or the supermodel, right? So your boss wakes up and I don't snore. She blames the supermodel. Supermodel blames your boss, right? Your seat is the only place where someone would know for sure who it was that's snoring, okay? Your boss asks you to back her up and say it's supermodel. So, do you toe the party line and blame the model? Or do you humiliate your boss and drop her in it? Which one?
I can tell you what I'd do and it'd be none of them. I'd tell him...
No, it doesn't work that way, mate. No, it doesn't work that way. You got to make a choice, mate. You either tell your boss, yeah, you're snoring, or you go, yeah, it was a supermodel. Which one? That's the choice.
I tell my boss.
Sorry?
I tell my boss.
You'd say it was the boss snoring.
Yeah, but I tell my boss.
No, there's no but. It's one of the two.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame my boss. I'd just say,
No. They'd be asking who was snoring, and you would say, "Oh, who was it?" You'd say, "Okay, actually, boss, it was you." Yeah, is that what you say?
yeah, because I can't lie, can I?
Good. We got there in the end. Lovely. That's the whole point. Lovely.
I would have engineered the situation.
No, this quiz doesn't work that way, Nick. There's no nuance in this quiz, man.
To know, I just want everybody to know that I ain't into naming and shaming and all of that stuff.
That's the point of this quiz, my friend. We either jettison our principles or we stick to them. It's great. Okay, here we go. Right, next one. You're the MD, right, for a major vocalist, a massive star, like worldwide phenomenon, yeah? He's got a reputation for having an incredible vocal, but actually, he's tone deaf. He's completely unaware he's tone deaf because his manager has always got the producers and MDs he employs to just use copious amounts of autotune and any other technology to hide his limitations, okay? So, he's about to do a major live TV in the States, like one of the biggies, like Saturday Night Live, something huge. He's about to do one of those, but he and his manager fall out. They fall out. They have a big row. It's over. They're parting ways. The singer fires the manager in your presence, right? Cusses him out, and the manager, he fires back saying, "You're rubbish, you know, and your career's been saved by autotune. You are tone deaf." Yeah? Singer's completely unaware of this. The singer's pride kicks in. He says, "I don't need you. I've got Nicky." But the singer, he wants everyone to know that he can really sing for real. So he entrusts you to deliver the performance auto-tune free to prove all the doubters wrong. He says, "Under no circumstances, Nick, are you to use any tech because I believe that I'm amazing." That's what he's saying. So you know full well that if he goes on Saturday Night Live, my friend, and there's no auto-tune, it's going to crash and burn. But if you use the auto-tune and he finds out, you're going to get fired. So what do you do? Do you use the tech and try to hide the fact, or do you let him go down in flames?
Bruv, I'm getting fired because we ain't going out like that. Nobody ain't looking at me as the MD like on Fallon or Saturday Night or none of it and be like, that performance was whack. No way, dude. And then, you know what I would do? If he said to me, "Did we use auto-tune?" I'd be like, "Do you know what? Let me check with our tech guy."
And you never get back to him, yeah?
I'm never getting back to him.
Cool. Nick, it's been real. We're done. It's been great. It's been great chatting, man. It's been great chatting. Hopefully we hook up in person before too long, yeah?
Bruv, the way things are going, yeah, you probably see my hologram before you see me, but, you know.
But take care of it, man. See you soon, man.
Thank you. Thanks, Ange.
Oh, Nicky, you made me laugh. Nick, you really made me laugh. Thanks for doing this, man. Brilliant chat with him. Great guy. Long-term friend. He's the dude. He's the man. Great talent. Folks, that's the show. It's been very, very raucous and rowdy, very funny today. Thanks for joining in. I don't know when I'm going to do the old Mugs game. I think the Mugs game is going to have to come back, you know. That's quite funny. So congratulations again to Jimmy Clark. He won the inaugural It's a Mugs game. These will be available at my website really soon once I get myself organised. Man alive. But there'll be another chance to win. At some point. Not next week, but at some point. It takes ages to count through all this nonsense. I've got to watch these things over and over again to kind of make sure my stats are correct. So folks, please visit my website, okay? andrewsmall.net. The mugs will be up there really, really soon, so you can have your own, okay? My album, What Happens Now, is available in all the usual places. And also my social media handle is Andrew Small Drums, Facebook, Instagram, and also YouTube, where you'll be able, on YouTube, to watch this whole random episode, this complete, utter sort of pile of chaos all over again at your leisure, right? Please be sure, guys, please do subscribe. Please subscribe, hit notification bells, do all that stuff, support the channel so I can keep doing more silliness like this, you know, in all of the random chats with Nick. I actually forgot to talk about the fact he's actually playing my new album. He just took me off on all these different tangents. It was really funny. But anyway, guys, glad you had a good time. Really great to see you. Keep safe, and I will see you next time. I have an amazing guest next week. The show's already in the can. You're really going to enjoy it. So take care, folks. See you later. Bye bye.